Good morning students. This is my lecture number 3 for class 12 students. Subject English from your main course book Flamingo. Poem number 2, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. Children, in lecture number 1 and lecture number 2 of the same poem, I explained the complete poem, and now today first of all we will recapitulate all 4 stanzas of the poem, and then we will proceed further with the textual question answers. The poet Stephen Spender in this first stanza says that the children of the slum are very far from the world of enjoyment and entertainment. These children are compared with rootless weeds, means unwanted plants. These children, like unwanted plants, are no more required in the society. Their torn hair are falling onto their paled faces. Then he starts describing the children sitting in the classroom. First of all, he talks about the tall girl who is sitting due to the depression or due to the burden of the poverty. This girl is overburdened due to poverty, therefore she is sitting with her weighed down head. Then he talks about the boy who appears like paper with rat's eyes because hunger is gleaming in his eyes. This boy has very big eyes like of a rat. That explains or describes the hunger in his eyes. Then he talks about the stunted, unlucky hair of twisted bones. He talks about the boy who has inherited from his father a naughty disease in his throat. This boy is very much unlucky, who has inherited only a disease from his father, nothing else. He is sitting at his seat and reciting the lesson of that gnarled disease which produces a constant sound from his desk. Then he talks about the classroom, which is very dim due to lack of proper ventilation and electricity. Then the poet talks about one sweet and young boy who is sitting unnoted at the back of that dim classroom. And he finds this boy different from others because this boy has a dream in his eyes. It appears to the poet that if this boy is given a chance, can fulfill his dream. The boy is completely lost in watching one squirrel playing outside the classroom. That squirrel is going in a tree room, that hollow stem, in which he goes in and comes out, and the boy is lost in watching that squirrel playing the game, and he is unaware of what is happening in the classroom. In this stanza 2, the poet Stephen Spender talks about the classroom. He says that the classroom walls are painted with sour cream color, which is very much unpleasant to the eyes of the children. And he talks about all the donated items which are present onto its walls for its beautification, which includes Shakespeare's portrait and Cloudless at Dawn. There is a picture that gives them the scene of rising sun. There are civilized domes riding all cities, all educational institutions. There is a picture of Tyrolese Valley which is belled and flowery. There is an open-handed map which is drawn by the dictators of their will, that is avoiding the world that they want to show in it, but that world map does not show any picture of slum areas or slum children. All these things are ironically used by the poet. Then he talks about these children. He says all these things are present in the world, but for these children, only the windows of the classroom are present. From there they can see only and only that their future is painted with fog. Means there is no surety of bright future because they can see only their future which is locked or sealed in the narrow streets of the slum area and from there they can see a dark sky, a bleak sky that does not give them any hope to live their life in better conditions. These children are very far from rivers, capes, and the stars of words. Means these children are very far from the world of enjoyment, nature, and education. Stephen Spender says, surely the example of Shakespeare into their classroom is wrong, because Shakespeare is wicked to them. They are far away from the world of literature, and Shakespeare represents literature. Therefore, Shakespeare is proved wicked for those children. And he says that the map which is drawn by the dictators of their will is a bad example, because this map is with ships and the sun and the love, and all these things tempt these children. Tempt means attract. Attract these children to somehow steal all these entertainments or the enjoyments from the world of map, but these children's presence is nowhere on that map. So he says, for lives, for living their life, these children silently move into their cramped holes. Cramped means confined holes. And their morning begins with fog, which ends to endless nights, means all of their time and space the people spend only from fog to endless night. They remain the whole long day onto the heaps of garbage, and the people have no clothes to wear. Therefore, the people are wearing, these small slum children are wearing skins, means they are undernourished, and their bones are peeping through their skin. And then the poet talks about the spectacles of steel with mended glass. These children wear discarded spectacles by the rich. They are mended and are worn by these children. And their life is just like bottle bits on stones, shattered and broken like bits of stones or bits of bottle on a stone. They are deprived even of their basic amenities of life. Their world is comprised of the foggy slums where they live nightmares. Slums are the reality for these children, and these children are proved a big blot onto the maps of those dictators. Therefore, dictators have not shown the presence of these children onto their map, and they say that these children are just like a blot onto the map with their slums as big as doom, means that would be more than enough to destroy the beauty of their map. In this last stanza, the poet Stephen Spender appeals to those in power to liberate these children from the miserable slums and enable them to breathe in the fresh, beautiful, and healthy environment away from the foggy slums. They should be able to bask in the open field grass and let them run free on the golden sands. Their world should not be confined to the gory slums. The poet actually visualizes freedom for these children. He wants a carefree life where they get economic and social justice, where they enjoy their fundamental right of education. He requests the people like governor, inspector, visitor that give them the opportunity to make the world map a window, and the windows of their classroom should shut upon their lives like underground place where dead bodies are kept. And he requests them to break the town and take these children to the green fields, so that these children must be educated, must be introduced to the world of enjoyment and education, and they can create the history of the slum in their own words. And their future should be bright like sun. Therefore, the poet requests all those people to take an initiative to improve the standard or the poor plight of these slum children, so that they can also live their childhood happily, and they can be knowledgeable, they can also go to schools, and they must also get education. So it was the complete recapitulation of the poem Stanza I, and now we will proceed further with the textual question answers. Question number 1 in your book is given. Take the item which best answers the following. First one is the tall girl with her head weighed down means. The girl is what? So the right answer to this question is the girl is ill and exhausted. Therefore, she is sitting with her head weighed down. The second question is the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes means the boy is what? The boy is thin, hungry and weak. C part is the stunted unlucky ear of twisted bones means the boy has an inherited disability. And D part is his eyes live in a dream, a squirrel's game, in the tree room other than this. This means the boy is distracted from the lesson. E part says the children's faces are compared to a rootless weed. This means they are wasters. Question number 2 is what do you think is the color of a sour cream? Why do you think the poet has used this expression to describe the classroom walls? Answer. The sour cream may indicate a dirty yellowish color, and the poet has used this expression, a sour cream wall, to represent the decaying aspect. The walls symbolize the pathetic condition of the lives of slum children. However, there is an implied hope, but their present state is very pathetic. So in order to describe the pathetic state of slum children, the poet has used creamy color onto the walls because sour cream means off-white color which seems unpleasant to our eyes. And the third textual question is the walls of the classroom are decorated with the pictures of Shakespeare, buildings with dome, a world map and beautiful valleys. How do these contrast with the world of these children? And the answer to this question would be the pictures of Shakespeare, buildings with domes, a world map and beautiful valleys. All these present honor, education, civility, beauty and vastness. While the poverty-stricken and neglected kids in the classroom are an embodiment of the lack. They lack beauty, proper education, development, and freedom to explore their world. Even their future does not hold any promise to them. In fact, there are chances these pictures may tempt them to pursue wrong path in order to find ways to attain the things indicated by them. Therefore, the poet shows a beautiful contrast by presenting all these pictures or the donations which are present onto the walls of the classroom, and he presents a beautiful contrast of all these things with the students sitting in the slum, that these children and their life is far from this world which has been shown onto the walls of that classroom. The fourth and the last question, which is very important as well, is what does the poet want for the children of the slums? How can their lives be made to change? The poet Stephen Spender wants the children of the slums to venture into the outside world beyond the boundaries of their slums and experience a better present and future life. Children, if you remember, in the last stanza of the poem, the poet has made an appeal to all the renowned class of the society to take an initiative to take these children out of their slums, and these slums should shut upon their lives like catacombs, so that these children must be introduced to the world of education, green fields and prosperity. The poet feels that the governor, inspector and visitors should take initiative to bring about a real change in their present situation. To ensure a better way of living for them, they need to be given proper education and freedom from their present confines. They need opportunity, encouragement, and optimism to be able to live life with purpose and zest. So this is an appeal that the poet wants has made to all the renowned class of the society. That is his long time desire. He wants to fulfill it in order to improve the condition of these slum children. Children, it was your last question, and now we will proceed towards homework. So the homework of the day is to answer all these discussed questions in your Fair English notebook and make sure you are learning them as well. I hope you would have understood. You will have to learn and answer these questions in your Fair English notebook. Thank you. This is the end of the lecture.